What is happening, my YT gang? Y'all already know what time it is. We are back with another one. And today, man, we got a good argument going on within First Take. A great debate on who they feel like is the MVP as of right now between my boy Josh Allen and my boy Lamar Jackson. And it's a pretty interesting argument, I can't lie to y'all. So we're going to go ahead and get into that video, man, and see what they had to say. But before we get into that video, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. That way, every time I drop something new, you guys will be the first one to be notified. All right, man, I'm going to go ahead and start running my mouth. Let's go ahead and see what Stephen A. Smith and them had to say about this whole situation. Let go.
Not for me. Not for me. I don't feel that way. I don't feel it's too soon at all because, listen, I know that Lamar Jackson is having an absolutely sensational season, and I get all of that. But he's got double the amount of losses. Two of them were the last place teams in the AFC. And on top of it all, they ain't even in first place in the AFC North. So I look at it from that standpoint. Then I take into account the greatness that we're seeing from Josh Allen, leading the NFL in QBR, by the way, at this particular moment in time. Tied with Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson for total touchdowns with 37. Then I also look at what they lost coming into the season. We had expectations about the Miami Dolphins, to some degree, to a lesser degree about the Buffalo Bills. We were wondering whether or not the New York Jets, we were wondering whether or not the Buffalo Bills were going to tail off. Why? Because you lost Stephon Diggs. You lost Gabe Davis. Let's look at that for a second. Davis accounted for 79% of the touchdown catches last year, 70% of the receptions, and 69% of the receiving yards. I'm talking about Gabe Davis and obviously Stephon Diggs. That was for the Bills wide receivers over the last couple of years. That's what you walked into this season with lacking if you were Josh Allen. You had Keon Coleman coming in as a rookie, all right? You didn't acquire Amari Cooper until midway through the season, all right? And look at the year that Josh Allen has had. He is an absolute stud. We've known this. He's finished in the top 5 in league MVP voting 3 of the last 4 years. This is who this brother is. This is what he's brought to the table. And when you consider how the Bills look, how they've locked up the AFC East, how they've been playing, the opponents that they've been beating, devoid of those weapons that I highlighted, not to mention Mitch Morse and how this was your center for the previous 5 years. You lost him as well. You lost your leading sack guy in Leonard Floyd, and still in all, you doing what you're doing as a team, riding the shoulders of Josh Allen. I think we can sit here and look at it and go like this. It's a regular season award. Regular season is pretty much done for them. All they're fighting for is the number 1 seed in the AFC. I think that's MVP written all over it.
I'm going to start off by saying, there's a lot of things that we kind of look past when it comes to picking the most valuable player, right? In my eyes, it's not about who is the greatest player. It's more so about who is the most valuable player for their team. And it's all based off of the performance that team is having throughout the season. When we look at Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, we didn't have a whole lot of expectations coming into this season. We already knew that he lost Stephon Diggs and he also lost Davis. So, when you look at that offense, we didn't have no type of expectations for them coming in here being great this year. But when you look at Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens, we definitely put them at a higher expectation considering the fact that they was adding Derrick Henry to their arsenal. So when I'm looking at that situation alone, it kind of brings Lamar Jackson down a little bit when it comes to most valuable player, considering the fact that he has a former MVP candidate on his team with Derrick Henry. And that carries on to my next point. Derrick Henry is the second best running back in the league when it comes to rushing yards. James Cook, which is the running back for the Buffalo Bills, is the 18th. I think he has like 818 yards or something like that. And Derrick Henry got 1,400 yards. So because of the fact that Derrick Henry is that good this year, that kind of lowers Lamar Jackson when it comes to being the most valuable player on that team. Now, yes, like I said, they both have the same amount of touchdowns. But considering the fact that James Cook is the 18th best running back in the NFL, it kind of give me a leeway a little bit when it comes to Josh Allen being a more valuable player for his team opposed to Lamar Jackson for his. But then when you look at both of their receiver sets, none of them have MVP receivers, let alone Hall of Fame receivers on their team at the moment. So when I see Lamar Jackson have a receiver that's in the top 20 when it comes to receiving yards in the NFL, and then I look at Josh Allen and see that he has nobody in the top 20 at all, that kind of raised the bar for Lamar Jackson a little bit when it comes to being a valuable player. And then when you look deeper into the stats, Lamar Jackson is in the top 5 for all categories except for one. And I think he was like 10th in completion percentage. So But at the same token, this is kind of why I would pick Josh Allen before Lamar Jackson as of right now. When you look at both offenses, from all 11 players on that field, Lamar Jackson has better talent. He has better weapons. And to see Josh Allen taking that team in which we had no expectations for, no hopes for, right? Taking that team, leading them to the point to where they might be the number one team in the AFC with absolutely nothing, that kind of puts me in the mind of Tom Brady. Being able to take players with no names and still win. And I'm not just talking about winning to the point to where you're just barely making it to the playoffs. The Buffalo Bills just might end up being the number one team in the AFC. Even with all that talent that Lamar Jackson has on his team, they're still fighting to win their division. When it comes to Buffalo, it's already solidified. So with taking all that into consideration, I just might have to say that Josh Allen is definitely the MVP as of right now. Now, there are 3 more games that got to be played. But if the season was to end right now, Josh Allen is my guy. But I want to know how y'all feel about this whole situation, man. Who y'all think is better? Who y'all think is the MVP between Josh Allen and my boy Lamar Jackson? Go ahead, drop them things down in the comment below. I'm going to see y'all on the next one.